Here's a few tips to really help you start to perfect your craft and up your t-shirt game. These few things can potentially be the difference between a one-time customer and a returning customer. And we all know that returning customers are money. All these things I'm about to talk about are based on my experience with a bunch of past jobs and being able to make my one-time customers into returning customers. These are all things that you should keep in mind when you're looking to invest in something, all the way to handing the customer their order. So today I'm going to be giving you 10 helpful tips to up your t-shirt game and help perfect your craft. Let's get to it. Now, starting this countdown off at number 1. This is a huge pet peeve of mine. This is something that I always notice. Please listen to what I'm about to say right now. Always double check your images for white spots that should actually be transparent. I've seen this happen a lot when people remove the background on an image that has a bunch of empty space in the actual design. Let's say the empty space in between letters or in between an arm, something like that. Here's one example of what I mean. This is a fairly simple design, and as you can see, it doesn't have a background, but it does have some white spots where there shouldn't be, specifically on the O and on the V. Now here's one image that I'm about to remove the background in. I went ahead and removed the background. Now I'm going to give you a second to look at it and just spot the errors on there. And these were the white spots that were missed. Hopefully you were able to catch those, but if you didn't, it's okay. Just always make sure to double check. So up next at number 2. Now while this next one is kind of funny, it's also kind of nasty, and I will admit it has happened to me before. Luckily, I've caught it before handing the order to the customer, and I've been able to fix the issue. Always double check before pressing your images, and I'm talking about hair. Always double check your shirt, make sure there's no hair on it. You know, sometimes a little strand will fall out right before pressing. You won't notice it. You put your vinyl on top, you press it. As soon as you peel the carrier, you just see a long strand of hair just sticking out of the vinyl. Funny enough, I wasn't going to include this because I had completely forgotten about it, but I remembered because I was on a Facebook group and somebody said that they received a t-shirt with a hair in it. Now hopefully the same way you can return your food if you find a hair in it, you can return your t-shirt as well. At least you're not eating it, right? You're just wearing it. That's kind of weird, you're walking around with somebody's hair on your shirt. Ew. Now continuing the countdown at number 3, this is actually something that can prevent all these hairs from getting stuck to your shirt. Lint roll your shirt. These things are your best friends. Always have a lint roller on hand. There's always going to be lint on shirts, especially if you keep different colored shirts together, or if you order different colored shirts and they come in the same packaging, or if you have a cat or a dog that accidentally got into your batch of shirts and started rumbling all around there. Yeah, in that case, forget the lint roller, just replace the shirts. You do not want to run the risk of the person receiving the shirts being allergic. If that happens, just throw this away and just replace the entire batch of shirts. But always lint roll your shirts. It'll get all that stuff off of the shirt that you really don't want on there. Coming up at number 4, we have learn to say no. If you don't feel comfortable taking a job, if you don't know how to do it, or if you're overwhelmed, just say no. Don't take the job. A lot of the times, the stress that you put on yourself because you say yes to every single job will affect the quality of your other jobs. You might be spreading yourself too thin and working on too many things at once, or you might be overworking yourself trying to meet overlapping deadlines and stressing yourself out. If you've got too much to do, if you know you can't get it done on time, or you don't have enough time to figure something like that out, trust me, you're going to end up overworking yourself and jeopardizing the quality of all the jobs. Number 5, be open to new things. Don't think that the way that you're doing things right now is the best possible way that there is, and it can't get any better. Because trust me, it can. At the end of the day, there's always room for improvement regardless of what method you're using. For a long time, I was hugely against using transfers because I didn't like the profit margins. I thought it was too expensive. But after trying a few different transfer companies, seeing how fast it is to use the transfers, the quality of the transfers, I completely regret not bringing transfers into my business earlier. So don't close yourself off to what you're currently doing. Always open your mind and think that there are different possibilities out there to be able to better yourself or better your business or the quality of your work. Up next at number 6, we have presentation. Presentation upon delivery is key. The customer's first impression is what's going to stick with them and influence your decision to return. When you're handing the customer your order, make sure it's presentable, make sure it's neat, make sure it looks nice. Trust me, a lot of times the moment a customer receives their order and it's nicely packaged, they want to take a picture of it and tag you on Instagram. And then that exposes your business to all those other potential customers. I'm going to give you guys a personal tip of mine. I always buy tote bags. Now, whenever somebody has an order of $100 or more, I always package their orders in a personalized tote bag. The tote bag I give to them completely free. Ultimately, it costs me no more than $5 to print. That being the price of the tote bag plus the price of the ink or vinyl or whatever I'm using. And it's always a nice little gift that they appreciate and always remember. At the same time, giving them something like that shows them that you're able to do more than just shirts. A lot of times people don't even think about asking you about other things that you offer. They just think that you do shirts and that's it. So gifting them an extra little something that you printed can go a long way. And it also shows the customer that you appreciate them, and they appreciate that. Coming in at number 7, we have do your research. Always do your research before buying anything, before making an investment. It's important to do your research and make sure that whatever you're purchasing lines up with the work that you do. I'm not going to buy a DTG machine if my focus is going to be DTF transfers. I can make DTF transfers using a DTG machine, but that's not really what it's made for, and that's not the most efficient way to do it. So before making a purchase, especially a big purchase, just make sure you do your research. Make sure that you're spending your money on the right things versus just wasting it on something that's just going to sit there. At number 8, we have something that actually works with number 7, and that's testing. Always test new methods, always test new equipment. Make sure you know what you're doing and you have your settings dialed in right. Just because a print came out nice and perfect and vibrant and colorful doesn't mean it came out right. You might have cured the ink wrong. You might have pressed it with too little pressure. There's a bunch of things that can go wrong when you're first trying out new methods or products. And making sure you set in at least a few days or even weeks or even months of testing can help you establish a product that people want and come back for. If you're selling transfers, make sure you take the time to use them, wear them around, wash them, dry them. If you're just starting out with vinyl, make a few shirts for yourself. Make sure that you're able to wash them without the vinyl peeling. Give it at least 5-6 wash tests. Make sure everything is still good. Just make sure you test and make sure it's something that you would feel comfortable purchasing yourself. Now, coming up at number 9, this is actually a fairly tough one for people. This is kind of a hard pill to swallow for most, and in my personal opinion, I think this is what a lot of people actually struggle with, and that is being critical of your own work. Just because you like it doesn't mean everybody else is gonna like it. And make sure that you like it because it's actually good and not because you made it. It's really hard to find a middle area, but a lot of the times when you look at your work, take a real look at it and think, if I saw this at a store, would I buy it? And be real with yourself. Would you purchase it at a store based on the price that you're selling it at? As a t-shirt printer, a lot of times we're gonna say no. I can make it at home. But take a look through the eyes of a customer, somebody that doesn't know anything about making t-shirts, somebody that just looks at the design and says, oh, that's pretty cool. Does it look cool? Will somebody think it looks cool? Get an opinion. Maybe put it up on your Instagram, ask a couple of friends. Don't always ask family, because family a lot of times you're gonna say, oh yeah, it's very nice, when really it's not. Ask some friends, ask for honest opinions, and take criticism. Don't be offended by it. Take it, embrace it, and make the changes to be able to improve your work. Honestly, it's not that hard when you really take a look at it. And with the amount of resources that there are online right now, it's really hard to do a bad job at something. I'm gonna show you guys a post that I saw on a group. It was actually part of the inspiration for this segment of the video. And I hate to be critical of it, but come on, look at this. Now, if you look at the text, it reads, are you looking for an expert, professional, and outstanding photo retouching service to edit your product photos? If yes, you're in the right place. It's best quality photo retouching images, cut out, remove background, retouch photo services, t-shirt seller. Now, does that look like a professional and outstanding photo retouching service? Now, I hate being critical of other people's work because to each their own, everyone has their own style, their own ways of doing things, but really? That looks like something that you just drew up on paint and slapped on a stock image of some guy in a shirt. Now let me show you my take on it. This image, I can guarantee you, took the same amount of time that it took to make this one. And I have full rights to it, and I'm able to sell it and make money off of it. And I kid you not, this took me no more than 15 minutes to make. I'm going to be covering that in a future video. I did use a service called Vexels as well as some photoshopping. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that or any future videos. Now, if this image took me 15 minutes, can you imagine the possibilities you have if you just put in like an hour? Take the time to work on your art. Make sure that it's something that people would like, something that's aesthetically pleasing. Make sure that the colors that you're using complement each other. Make sure it's not an eyesore. Just overall, be real with yourself and ask yourself if it's something that is really worth that kind of money. Now, coming in at number 10, it is something that I had a hard time grasping at the beginning. And honestly, to this day, it's still something that I sometimes have troubles with. Stop trying to cater to everyone. Stop trying to cater to every single niche out there. There's way too much out there to be able to try to work with everything or everyone. If you're doing a t-shirt brand, don't try to attract everyone because it's not gonna work. You're not gonna be attracting everyone with a soccer shirt, right? You're not gonna be attracting skateboarders with a soccer shirt. But then you can also come out with a skateboard shirt to attract those skateboarders. But then you're just gonna be attracting a general audience. A good thing to do is niche down and focus on a particular group of people that are interested in whatever niche or topic that you're based around. Now, you don't always have to niche down. Some people find success in generic shirts, you know, just doing a bunch of generic shirts for different occasions. I guess what I'm trying to say is niche down no matter how generic that niche is. So either niche down to skateboarders, niche down to car enthusiasts, niche down to schools, or niche down to generic shirts. You can have a bunch of shirts for pretty much any occasion, but not really a dedicated line specific to whatever topic or niche. So number 10 was a little bit weird for me to explain. The way I rehearsed it sounded a lot better than when it did when it actually came out. So I hope it made sense to you guys. I hope you got something out of it. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, your support means the world to me. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. And catch you guys next time. Peace.